Since nobody else will do it, I am going to defend Preston Garvey, bro. A lot of people, we're just going to start at Quincy, right? A lot of people be like, oh, well, it was kind of his fault that whole thing happened. And it's like, no, he was just one of the fucking people who showed up in Colonel Hollis's group, right? And they was with Clint. And whenever they got there, they actually were winning. They actually got them by surprise and killed a third of the gunners, and forced them to retreat. And so that caused them to think that, hey, maybe we have a chance to actually keep Quincy. So they stayed there to fortify that shit. But then, what's his name? Clint defected and went to the gunners, bro. And that shit, he told them about the fortifications and the inner workings and yada yada, right? And so they attacked at night, and that caught everybody off guard. And because of the defection, Colonel Hollis actually ordered everybody to stay there and fight instead of forcing the retreat. And people will blame that on Preston. I seen that. And it's like, it was not Preston. He was just there. He had no authority over fucking nothing. But if it wasn't for him, they would have actually just all died, right? Because he was the only one who pulled him and about 20 other survivors, including the ones that you meet at the Museum of Freedom, out of there in order to go and, retreat, basically. And so they did that, and then they went to Jamaica Plain, and that shit was overran by ghouls. And then, a couple of them died. Oh well. And then they went to Hyde Park, but there was a bunch of raiders there. A couple of them died. And then they went to the Super Duper Mart because they was out of supplies and food and everything else. So they went there, but there was a bunch of fucking ghouls there. So then a bunch of them died. And then that's whenever you meet them at Concord, because that's like the last place they could go. And so they got there, and a lot of people are going to blame Preston for dragging them around all these places. And it's like, he had no authority over nothing. Look at my dog. And like, he was just forced into a position where it's like, he had never been in this before. He did not know what to do. And it's like, what do you want from him? He's the only reason any of these people are alive. So it's like, yes, he made some mistakes, but that's gonna be anybody in his position, bro. Like, let's stop. But, and then the second thing is gonna be, oh, well, he just gives you a bunch of missions and does this, he promotes you to general, and it's like, yes, bro, that's not him. That's not the character writing. That is Bethesda's way of... Shut up, why are you... And that is Bethesda's way of fucking, shoehorning in some quests, because they had no other way to do it for some reason, I guess. That's Bethesda. But Preston's character himself, people will say he's an idiot because he still believes in the Minutemen and yada yada. And it's like, is he an idiot? Because if it wasn't for him,